New news, it just arrived. Iran has allowed the passage of all commercial vessels during the ceasefire in Lebanon. Trump is already celebrating his victory on his social network. The Strait is fully open and ready for passage. The markets are exhaling. Oil will go down, and Bitcoin, which was already holding above 75,000, is receiving additional support. But this is not the only news of the day. If you thought that the story of the creator of Bitcoin had finally been clarified, then nope. Adam Back, who was named Satoshi Nakamoto by the New York Times and now speaks at conferences and expresses concern that the real creator could lose access to $1 billion fortune. Meanwhile, the market is preparing for a short squeeze. The financing rates are negative, whales are locking profits. The Drift protocol involved in lawsuits after a $295 million hack that was saved by Tether, and the prosthetic arm learned to play the piano with the power of thought. In general, as usual, we have something to discuss. Please don't forget to like up this video, subscribe to the channel, and now let's get started. So it's official. Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs said the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is fully open for the duration of the ceasefire in Lebanon. The coordinated routes were announced by the Iranian Port and Maritime Organization. Donald Trump, of course, has already claimed victory for himself, and he wrote, "The Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage." And what does this mean for the markets? Well, let's remember, the strait had been closed for weeks, hundreds of tankers were stuck in traffic, and oil flew above $100. And of course, Bitcoin was just in a fever at this point. And now oil has already gone down, inflationary pressure is decreasing, risky assets are supported, but there is of course a caveat. The opening is tied to the ceasefire in Lebanon, and of course it is really fragile, and one blow is enough and the strait will close again. But in the meantime, the markets are exhaling. Moving on, so cryptographer Adam Back, who after an investigation by the New York Times, many considered to be the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, spoke at Blockchain Paris Week and made several unexpected statements. The first one, he questioned whether Satoshi's fortune was really estimated at billions of dollars, because common estimates are based on mining pattern analysis, but these are just hypotheses. According to Arkham, the creator of Bitcoin is credited with 1,096 million bitcoins worth $82.8 billion, and Beck believes that the real figure could be half that, about 500,000. Actually, we don't know if these are really Satoshi coins. The owner may be another early miner, he said. And another thing is that Beck also thinks that the creator of Bitcoin could have simply just lost the access to his coins. In the early years of the network, backups were not as reliable and convenient as they are now. Users had to manually save the wallet.dat file during the act of transactions. This backup needed to be updated regularly. The future migration of coins to quantum-stable addresses types may show how many of the first miners actually retained control of the keys. And if 1,000,000 bitcoins just remained a dead weight, this will be the answer. And at the same time, Beck is confident that we have not seen a massive influx of institutions, because large banks announced the launch of ETFs, but then a lengthy process of coordination with lawyers, compliance, and the choice of custodian follows. According to BlackRock's flow data, institutions now hold about 30% of coins through ETFs. The remaining 70% are individuals who manage savings through brokers, and a huge number of people just do not make independent investment decisions. Their savings are distributed among pension funds and different insurance policies managed by professional managers, and these managers are just starting to go through the necessary procedures. I think it is still ahead. The late wave will launch in the next few years, Beck concluded. And the prospects of 2 years is interesting, but let's see what's happening today. Bitcoin has returned above $75,000, but margin traders are just skeptical a little bit. The financing rates for perpetual futures remain in the negative zone for 46 consecutive days, and this is one of the longest periods of bearish moves in history. This comparable only with the consequences of the collapse of Terra and FTX, which, by the way, I talked about in my documentary, The Full History of Bitcoin. A gap has formed in the market market between the positive dynamics of spot prices and the pessimistic positioning in futures. If golds continue to rise, holders of short positions will start incurring losses and will be forced to just close them in masses. In other words, a short squeeze will begin. It can provoke a sharp jump in the exchange rate, and the longer the pressure persists, the stronger the price momentum may turn out to be. The market is supported by several fundamental factors. The first is capital inflow. American spot Bitcoin ETFs are increasingly showing positive revenue trends. The second is the actions of institutions. Michael Saylor's strategy has acquired $2.6 billion worth of Bitcoins in the last 2 weeks alone, And the third is Wall Street initiatives. Charles Schwab announced the launch of spot crypto trading, allowing the allocation of up to 8.8% of portfolio to Bitcoin. And Morgan Stanley became the first major bank with its own Bitcoin ETF. Kaiko analyst Lawrence Frausen believes that a break above 76K should send Bitcoin towards 85K, and such a rally can take many by surprise. And at the same time, the bears keep their chances. On the Durbit exchange, open interest is concentrated around put contracts with strikes of $60,000 and $50,000. Traders are willing to pay high premiums for drop insurance. With further growth, Bitcoin will face strong resistance around $80,000, but before that, the path should be smooth. Option dealers using market-neutral strategies sell the assets on the price increase. So in general, I still advocate this strategy of spot accumulation in Bitcoin, but I'm increasingly thinking about opening a long position with liquidation in the area of $49,000. By the way, if you want to buy and trade cryptocurrencies, I would like to remind you again about the sponsor of my channel, which I used for a long time before creating this channel. OKX Exchange is the best and most transparent solution for traders today. If you want to join and get welcome bonuses while supporting my channel, see the link in the description down below. Now to the criminal record. Investors of the Hector Drift protocol have filed a class action lawsuit against Circle. Why? Because Circle did not freeze the stolen funds. And let me remind you, on April 1st, hackers from North Korea hacked Drift and stole $295 million, and more than $60 million were withdrawn to the USDC. Circle refused to block these coins, and now investors are demanding compensation. The lawyers claim that the issuer of the stablecoin is responsible for the damage if it could have prevented it but did not do so. And this could set a dangerous precedent. If the court sides with the investors, Circle will have to answer for every single transaction with the USDC that led to the thief, and this is technically impossible. At the same time, Drift received support from Circle's competitor Tether. So Tether has provided $127 million as a part of a $148 million aid package, and the package includes $100 million in credit line linked to the protocol's revenue, an ecosystem grant, and loans to market makers. And at the initial stage, a significant portion of the site's revenue will be allocated to a special pool to compensate users, and Drift hopes to compensate for the losses in full. To simplify payments, the developers will issue a special token that each victim will receive. And against the background of the news, the price of Drift jumped more than 21% to $0.05. As a part of the restart, Drift will change the base settlement layer from USDC to USDT, and this is a direct blow to Circle. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is well deserved, And now the latest news from the world of technology, which seems like magic. At the HSBC Summit, BrainCo demonstrated a bionic hand controlled by the power of thought. A man on stage played a short piece on piano, and the prosthesis moved each finger independently, responding to nerve impulses. Unlike Neuralink, BrainCo uses a non-invasive method, and the sensor only touches the skin and reads the neural signals underneath it. It is safer, cheaper, and easier for patients to accept. The accuracy is a bit lower than that of Elon Musk's implants, but you don't need to drill into the skull for that, at least. BrainCo was founded by a Harvard graduate, and last year the company opened the headquarters in Hong Kong. The technology can be used to control symptoms of Parkinson's disease, restore movements in paralyzed, and even improve concentration in sleep. And that's all the news for today. Please like and subscribe. A link to OKX is in the description box down below. Have a nice weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.